Hi everyone, it's your Bat Echo. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of Duelo Maestro and mentioning each parts about their difficulty. So to start things off, let's start with the beginning cube. The beginning and the robot part aren't really that difficult. Once you know where to jump, you can pretty much go through it all first try. The robot part can just have some tricky timings. Overall, it's pretty easy. Next is the blind ship and ball. Now these parts are actually easier than they look. It just looks hard because it's darker, but turning up your brightness can make both of these parts easy to get past. But I do have to mention there is a bug at the ball which involves the game thinking you hit the green orb without actually making it into the orb hitbox. It's pretty weird. Next would be the pre-drop and drop. Now the pre-drop is still easy, but there are orb timings that can really throw you off, even after playing them hundreds of times. And the staircase right before the drop happens is much harder than you think. All of the jumps are timings, you can't just hold. If you just hold, you will jump on the spikes that are right above you. Overall though, these parts aren't really the worst, but do take time to learn. Now comes the drop that requires 2 fingers. The drop really isn't super hard because every click requires you to press both fingers at the same time. It's pretty much just a normal duel, although the wave part can be very annoying at times. And these 3 orbs are not what you think. You see, these orbs look super easy, but they are not. The first pink orb is needed to be hit as early as possible with both icons. The second pink orb can be hit normally, but the last yellow orb is a very bad timing. If you hit the orb too early, you die from the ceiling and floor, so you have to hit the orb late. But not as late as possible. If you hit it too late, then you will not be able to reach the robot part correctly, and it will mess up your consistency. These orbs have probably got to be one of my most hated parts. Now for the robot and wave. The robot is kind of like the beginning of the level where it's dark. Turning up your brightness will make the robot part much easier. The robot is pretty simple. It just requires lots of small clicks. I don't think I have actually died at the wave at all during practicing this level, so it's kind of a nice break to have before the level becomes insane. The ship and the orb staircase are also pretty simple, sight readable for the most part. All the orbs here are timings, but they aren't really bad. Now for the second pre-drop. This part isn't as hard as you think. Yeah, it has invisible portals, but once you learn a consistent click pattern, you will be able to pass this part fairly easy. Now for the hardest part in all of Duelo Maestro, the second drop. This drop is pretty much the main reason why people don't beat this level solo. You have to control 2 icons at the same time and at different times. The ship is actually super easy because you can slide on everything. The wave is where it starts to get tricky. This part in the wave is especially annoying. The cube is where it really starts to get tricky though. I had to practice this a few thousand times. Now the dual ball, in my opinion, is the hardest part of all of Duelo Maestro. It took me over 1,000 attempts to make it halfway. The ending of the ball would always be where I would start to get super bad nerves. The ship and the wave were also much harder than they look, but I found a click pattern around the end where I could pass it fairly often. Congratulations! Once you've passed all that, the level becomes free. This dark gray cube looks hard, but halfway through, one icon is actually auto. After passing these orbs, all the rest until these jumps, player 1 is completely auto. Now the final stretch. This last part was not easy to learn. This pink orb is not to be messed with. You have to click it as late as possible, and adding super high nerves onto an orb timing is not a good mixture. I had to practice it a few hundred times to get it. Now the ending orbs. The last part of the level. I wouldn't really say these orbs are hard, but they're not easy either. Every orb is a blind timing. This entire ending pretty much becomes luck-based since you can't see what orbs you're going to hit, or even see what the orbs are in general. I practiced it around 600 times and was able to learn a good click pattern, and this part is completely auto until the finish line. So there you have it. This level is definitely an extreme demon to do solo. Definitely harder than ACU, but only when it's solo. I'd probably rate this level a good 8 out of 10. Thank you all for watching. If you made it this far into the video, type E in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!